If you want to stay ahead of 97% of people in the AI era, the difference isn't how often you use AI, it's which skills you build around it. A big part of that is actually understanding how these systems work instead of just using them on the surface. One thing that's helped me get a clearer picture of that is spending time with Brilliant. It's a learning platform focused on math and coding with step-by-step interactive lessons and personalized practice, so you're learning by solving problems instead of just watching explanations. Their courses are built with input from educators from MIT, Harvard, and Stanford, and they're designed for anyone from around age 10 to 110. I've gone through their How AI Works course, which breaks down how large language models function in a really hands-on way. You can try Brilliant free for 30 days by going to brilliant.org/AI-uncovered, or by scanning the QR code on screen. And they're also offering 20% off the annual premium plan for unlimited access. And just so you know, this portion of the video is sponsored by Brilliant. Now, these are the 9 AI skills you need right now to stay ahead of 97% of people in 2026. Number 9. AI opportunity spotting. Most people open an AI tool only after work shows up on their plate. The higher leverage move happens earlier. It's the ability to spot where AI can remove friction before the task even starts. McKinsey's generative AI analysis estimates that about 60 to 70% of employees' time is spent on activities that are technically automatable, especially gathering data, processing, and routine communication. That doesn't mean entire roles disappear, but it does mean many steps inside those roles are getting faster and cheaper to handle. You can already see this across industries. Customer support platforms now use AI to categorize and route tickets before a human reads them. Sales teams analyze call transcripts to surface objections and buying signals. News organizations have used AI tools to scan massive document sets during investigations. Gartner has also noted that automation is expanding most quickly in information-heavy tasks where large volumes of data need sorting. None of these workflows started with complex engineering. They started with someone asking a simple question. Where are we losing time on repetitive steps? 8. AI workflow automation. This is where the impact becomes visible day to day. Instead of handling every step manually, individual tasks are now being automated inside tools people already use. Microsoft's Work Trend Index reports that a growing share of knowledge workers are already using AI to reduce time spent on routine communication, meeting notes, and documentation, which historically takes a significant portion of the work week. Separate estimates from McKinsey suggest generative AI could automate up to 30% of current work activities across many occupations. The important distinction is that automation usually targets the mechanical parts of work, not the judgment. Meeting tools can generate summaries and action items. Email systems can draft context-aware replies. Document platforms can extract key points from long reports in seconds. Each task sounds small on its own, but when several run automatically, the time savings become noticeable. Once those individual steps start running without manual effort, the question shifts again. It's no longer whether AI is useful, it's how to connect those automated steps so the entire workflow runs continuously instead of being triggered every time. 7. AI foresight scenario planning. As AI capabilities expand, another practical skill is anticipating how those changes affect your work before they fully arrive. Scenario planning has long been used in strategy and policy to prepare for technological shifts. Recent global workforce research suggests about 22% of current jobs are expected to be disrupted by 2030, with tens of millions of new roles emerging while others decline as automation expands. At the same time, estimates indicate that close to 40% of today's core job skills may become outdated by the end of the decade, which is why many organizations are shifting toward continuous reskilling. On a practical level, individuals can apply the same thinking on a smaller scale. Instead of reacting after tools change a workflow, you can map a few realistic scenarios, like which parts of your role could be automated or augmented first. As the share of tasks handled purely by humans continues to shrink, anticipating change early becomes a real advantage rather than a theoretical one. 6. Multi-module insight extraction. AI is no longer limited to text. Modern systems can analyze image, audio, video, and written data together, which changes how insights are discovered. This matters because most real-world information isn't stored in neat tables. IDC has estimated that around 80 to 90% of the world's data is unstructured, meaning it exists in emails, recordings, images, and documents rather than spreadsheets. Companies are already using this to understand behavior more clearly. Call recordings can be transcribed and analyzed for sentiment, product photos can be reviewed alongside written feedback, video sessions can be scanned for engagement signals. Research across computer vision and multimodule AI has shown that combining multiple data sources often improves classification accuracy compared to relying on a single input type. When different signals are analyzed together, blind spots shrink, and teams that can interpret text, visuals, and audio in one layer tend to detect trends earlier than teams relying on one dataset at a time. 5. Personal data moats. As AI tools become widely accessible, the advantage shifts toward who has better context, not who has better access. This is where personal data moats come in. Instead of relying only on public information, many teams are organizing internal knowledge so AI systems can work with their specific history. Deloitte surveys have found that a large majority of executives view proprietary data as a key competitive advantage in AI initiatives. You can see this with internal knowledge bases, past project archives, and decision logs being connected to AI search and assistants. Even small, well-structured datasets can produce more relevant outputs because the system understands how that organization actually operates. Gartner has also reported that poor data quality costs organizations an average of millions of dollars per year, which highlights how valuable clean, proprietary information becomes. As more people gain access to similar models, the edge doesn't come from the tool itself. It comes from the uniqueness and structure of the data you give it to work with. 4. Human-AI decision loop design. As AI gets faster at analysis, the real bottleneck becomes decision-making. That's why many organizations now use human-in-the-loop systems where AI handles detection and triage, and a person makes the final call. Harvard Business Review has noted that companies in areas like finance, healthcare, and compliance often reduce costly errors when automated outputs are reviewed before action is taken. Regulators also still require human oversight for high-risk decisions, especially in lending and medical contexts. You can already see this in everyday operations. Banks use AI to flag suspicious transactions, then analysts review the cases. Hiring systems screen large applicant pools, but final decisions stay manual. Content platforms rely on AI to detect risky material before human moderators step in. The pattern is consistent. AI increases speed, while humans manage judgment and accountability. As AI adoption expands, the advantage shifts toward people who know where the handoff should happen between automation and human review. 3. AI risk and limitation intuition. AI systems often produce confident answers even when the underlying information is incomplete. That's why understanding limitations is becoming a practical skill. Deloitte surveys regularly rank accuracy, bias, and explainability among the top concerns slowing enterprise AI adoption. Stanford's AI Index has also reported a steady rise in documented incidents tied to misuse, errors, or unintended outcomes as AI usage grows across industries. In real workflows, the risks are usually subtle. A model might summarize a document but miss a key clause. A recommendation system can reinforce bias if historical data is skewed. Even advanced tools may generate details that sound plausible but require verification. Because of this, many organizations now add validation layers before automated outputs are used in decisions. As more processes rely on AI assistance, the advantage shifts toward people who can quickly recognize when an output looks reasonable but still needs a second check. 2. Context engineering. As AI systems become more capable, performance depends heavily on the information around them, not just the prompt itself. Context engineering is about structuring memory, documents, and reference material so systems can complete multi-step tasks more reliably. Many enterprise AI platforms now use retrieval systems because models perform better when they can access relevant internal data instead of starting from scratch each time. Gartner has projected continued growth in spending on data and knowledge infrastructure as organizations scale AI deployments. The reason is practical. When systems have accurate background information, outputs become more specific and less generic. Even small improvements in data quality can noticeably improve results across longer workflows. This is why teams are investing in internal knowledge bases, documentation, and searchable archives. As AI moves from one-off queries to ongoing processes, the difference between a single prompt and a well-structured context becomes much more visible in day-to-day work. 1. AI system orchestration. At the highest level, the advantage isn't using one AI tool well. It's directing multiple systems so work moves with minimal manual effort. This is what AI system orchestration looks like in practice. Instead of isolation automations, different tools coordinate across research, execution, and reporting. Gartner has forecast that more enterprise software will include autonomous or semi-autonomous features as AI becomes embedded across products. You can already see early versions in marketing operations, software testing, customer support, and analytics. Data can move from intake to summary to dashboard with fewer human handoffs. McKinsey has estimated that generative AI could contribute trillions of dollars in productivity gains globally, much of it coming from improving how workflows are executed rather than eliminating entire roles. As capabilities expand, the leverage shifts toward people who define goals, constraints, and oversight across multiple systems instead of executing each step manually.